Hello everyone and welcome back to Sketch by Sketch. Today I'm doing something a little bit different and kind of crazy. I'm going to be trying to use an airbrush and I'm going to be doing a pretty large painting. I'm doing this because I want to make some room decor for my guitar room. So I'm pretty much just painting one of my favorite guitars, Steve Vai's guitar. You guys are probably sick of me drawing this guitar, but I just love it. So I'm going to try to use an airbrush. And this airbrush, I'm going to preface this by saying the airbrush is completely broken. I broke it when I was younger, and I'm trying to use a broken airbrush today. So this video, I say it's not about the airbrush because it doesn't end up looking airbrushed. This wasn't working enough by the end of it to really finish the piece using it, so I ended up just putting paint over top of it. But this is really fun to still experiment, and I thought I would still post this video just because it is still just to show you that you can experiment with things and have fun with different kinds of supplies, and it doesn't always have to turn out. As far as what I'm using here is I started out using paint thinner with acrylic paints. Now, let me tell you, that didn't work. As you can see here a little bit, it's just spitting out flecks of hardened paint because for some reason the paint thinner didn't work well with the acrylic. So I ended up, in the end, going with just straight up water, but you had to make the paint so liquidy, and the container only can hold so much that really it was quite a mess, and I was unable to really do this, especially with it broken. I have to hold the back of it kind of while I'm doing it, so I'm not going to spend too much time in this video on the actual airbrush just because it's kind of a mess, and it ended up not having much to do with the actual piece. Okay, so this is where I started to add other colors with the airbrush. This was the pink color, and you've seen me draw this guitar a million times. It's dipped in swirled paint, so that's something that's very hard to replicate in acrylic paint. And I decided at this point that this was going to have to be an abstract piece. It's just going to be wall decor. because this just wasn't going to be something that was going to look completely finished. It wasn't going to look realistic. It's just not my thing. I draw cartoon characters. I'm not very good at painting. So this was just something fun to experiment with, and I realized at this point that it was never going to be realistic, so I just kind of started slinging the paint at this point, and a little bit that'll be literal, but I was just throwing paint on this canvas, trying to get this airbrush to work, just at this point knowing that I could paint over it with acrylics, and just trying to kind of figure this airbrush out just a little bit. So I'm just continuing to swirl here and see what I can accomplish just with the airbrush. Okay, at this point, I am pretty much done with the pink paint. It was just kind of running out. I was just kind of done with it. So we're going to move on to some yellow. And yellow was a problem because it didn't show up very well. And everything kind of started to run, which was a really cool look, but not what I wanted. So now I'm just going to start going in with some paint. And if you're also wondering why my camera angle's like this, it's because the canvas was so big it wouldn't fit in my normal angle. So sorry about my hair being in the camera there. I know that can be kind of annoying. I should have pulled it back. But anyways, I'm using acrylic paint now. Now this isn't the right color of pink, but it's okay because I end up kind of ruining this as well. This piece really just kind of kept getting more and more chaotic. And again, that's a reason why I almost didn't post this, because it's still sitting on my desk and it's not finished yet, but we're going to do another part later, but it just didn't turn out how I wanted it to. It just wasn't what I had in my head, but that's okay. Not everything's going to turn out like you want it to, so I'm going to work with what I've got here. I'm going to keep painting and see if I can at least complete this piece and it be abstract and just something cool, and it doesn't have to look perfect. So that is the point of this video, just to kind of show you that everyone makes mistakes, everyone messes up, and their art doesn't look like what they want it to, but they still have fun and keep going. So that's what's going on here. And here is where it kind of started falling apart even more, is when I added the black. The guitar has black in the swirl, but I should realize that when I start adding black on top of other pretty colors, it's just going to get so muddy, and that's when these colors really just started not looking well together, and I really was kind of losing the vision of the entire piece. At this point, it really doesn't even look that bad, but then I started trying to blend everything, and black doesn't blend with neon colors, so that's how it ended up just kind of looking more of a muddy color here in a little bit. Alright, so this is my last ditch effort to fix this piece, and this is what actually I think made it look pretty cool. I just started swirling paint straight out of the bottle after I kind of messed up the colors. I don't even know how that happened. They just started bleeding together. It looks like a little bit of a mess. But I don't have any yellow tube paint, so I can't do yellow right now, so I'm pretty much just mixing the colors, and I'm going to start kind of flicking it on there, and later if I get a yellow tube paint, I'll add it. This really is quite a mess. I pretty much ruined this sweatshirt and there's paint all in my hair and it's all over my desk as well. This was pretty much just a huge mess and I don't recommend really following this as a tutorial. This is just an entertainment video. This is really a mess in my studio. So this is probably a painting that I will not do again just because of how much paint was everywhere. Okay guys, so now I'm going to try to peel the tape off and just see what happens. It's still wet, but I feel like that's going to be the best time to do it as while it's still wet so that it doesn't rip off all the tape, or all the paint. So I think I'm going to switch to a time lapse just so this doesn't take too long. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like once I took the tape off, and it's kind of a bad angle. It looks really cool actually. There's just a lot of kind of residue on the outside, and I definitely think that I want to maybe brighten up the guitar somehow. So I might end up putting in like all white pickups and stuff like that just to really brighten it up and make it look really cool. But I think once I clean up that edge, it's going to look really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that edge up, and then I think that's all I'm going to do for this video. And then I'll do the rest in either part 2 or part 3. So I'm just going to finish the body up as far as cleaning the outside up a little bit, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Alright guys, I've cleaned up the edge, and I think even just blending some of that color from the actual guitar onto the outside looks really cool. Something I think I'll do before I finish this piece, or at least do the fretboard, is pick up, I don't have any tube yellow paint right now, and that's why there is no like swirl of the yellow, and I really feel like it needs something like that done to it. So I feel like I might swirl in some yellow. I know I've already taken the tape off, but I feel like I can do it without making too big of a mess. And right now I think I'm actually going to swirl a little bit of white. Hopefully that doesn't go wrong, but I'm going to try to just splatter a little bit of white on here. So honestly, I've wasted so much paint today, but it's fine. Okay, I think that looks actually pretty good. Just kind of brightens everything up a little bit, I think. And I'm just gonna kind of blend that in there, just the over. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it for now, just like it is, and then we're gonna finish it up in another video. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. This video is all about experimenting and having fun while doing art. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I know it kind of still looks like a mess right now, but hopefully this is going to be really pretty when we're done with it, and I'm going to be able to hang it on my wall, and it's going to be really cool. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next part of this video. Bye!